Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Fortress TV, where tonight we've had a weird night of Team Fortress 2 action, to say the least. But maybe this one will go a little bit better. My name is Pledge once again. I have returned from the dead. And when I say dead, I retired 17 days ago. But I'm back. I'm back for tonight, at least for the time being. Admirable sitting here as well. He's been keening it up all evening. James, how are you doing after those two weird games that you had earlier?
Testify, brothers. Pledge is back. I'm fine. The first one was just a roll. It actually went off pretty smoothly, but the second one, it wouldn't be TCM without a little bit of pausing, timeouts, DDoS, the full spectrum of how to screw up a Team Fortress 2 cast. I was going to swear there, Pledge, but I remembered you were here. Didn't want to piss you off.
I have the good influence over you, at least for the time being. I think that was one of my parting words with Team Fortress TV as well, where I was just like, guys, the professionalism from James is now gonna have to be on his own. It's not gonna be on me anymore. That's the way it is. So I hope you've been keeping it up, brother. That's the way it is. Either way, we have a game here up for grabs. I'm very happy to not be casting a TCM game because that has metalworks in it, and I'm not very comfortable on that map for sure. We have good old Gullywash and Badlands here, the two most popular maps TF2 has seen over the past 2 years. The most played maps for sure. Arguably, you can put Granary in that list as well, but Granary has kind of fallen off his style lately. Gullywash and Badlands between two teams that. One of them is unbelievably known, and the other one, funnily enough, is going to be the favourite today. Reverto is a team that really managed to work their way up last season, and so far has had a perfect record in Season 16, going up against a French team, previously known Punchline. I think this team, a big part of this team was also part of the team that made it up. I can't for the life of me remember the name, but in Season 15... It was Pyrogen, there you go. A big part of that team is also playing right here. It's basically just Team France that we're going to see in action. And that's 6 unbelievably skilled players, but they lost their first official against the Last Resort. And that is something that Reverto is going to be very hopeful of. Because this game, to me, it can be quite close, but it depends on how Reverto is going to play.
Yeah, I think Reverto, like you say, definitely favourites here. They play a very solid game style, and I know that's a word I probably overuse a lot, but they do not take many risks at all. They are happy to win medals, push forward, and then just sort of grind their opponents down, look for those openings, get those picks. They don't take that many big risks, but today they are supposedly playing without their superstar scout Aphage, or Apage, however you want to say that one, but they have brought in another Frenchman. It's GF18, idiot, from FedEx. He's going to be playing here. He's also a bit of a beast on Scout and definitely plays that same sort of playmaker style. And just a little bit of insight to how Evokate are playing. After that last game, they did a little interview, and the common theme was that T-Mac isn't comfortable on Pocket. Obviously, he used to play Roamer for Infused. Yeah. So K3 suggested, and so did Flippy, that they would switch up and use Tech on Pocket and T-Mac on Roamer. So that's going to be interesting to see. I think a long time ago, Tech and K3 did used to play together in a similar role, so they might be able to rekindle that old fire. But in terms of Reverto, all they have to do is play their solid game style, not give away any cheap frags, and they should be coming out ahead here. But the fact that it is Badlands and Gullywash is probably a bit of a blessing here for the Frenchmen, so that they can just sort of play instinctively how they've played all these years and managed to succeed and do well in the Prem. Might help them out. Last time on Metalworks and Process, maybe they're a little bit unfamiliar, relatively speaking, but Badlands, these guys can play that one with their eyes closed, man.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, right? They've played as Team France for years, and obviously Exxon, he, as a Dellman, sort of came in a little bit later. He's the youngster of the team. Well, I say youngster, I don't know how old he actually is. But he came in a little bit later. From this team, he's more so the rookie for sure out of the other 5, but coming back to that Tech T-Mac idea, I can't see this one without thinking of how Mike transformed from Roamer to Pocket as well. Mike was just someone when he used to roam for Epsilon, obviously when Mitzi was still Pocket. I think Season 14 was around that time, 13, 14, and Mike, he just had such good aim. He could play as Pocket because he had the healers right there. That's the way it is. And now Tech, a guy that is also known for just phenomenal aim, phenomenal consistent aim as well. Put that guy with a lot of heals, that might actually work out very well. But we know that Exxon is a Delman who likes to get those heals and get in there. It's like the powerhouse himself. Wondering how that's going to work out between them.
Yeah, sort of ironically, T-Mac actually put out a lot of damage on Pocket, but it's not necessarily the aim or the damage, it's just the decision making. He's just in that roamer mindset, he's jumping away and leaving K3 exposed. If they can keep K3 alive, they can stay in the game, but he just felt he didn't have that protection, or there wasn't the sort of chemistry that you're looking for between a medic and his Pocket soldier, some sort of dependability, accountability. But just have Hui here, the Reverto demo man, who is really stepping up to the Prem standard. He has been messaging me saying that they're ready to go, so I gave him the all clear pledge. Hopefully we're going to get underway in 90 seconds or less.
Let's hope they at least start and like finish the game. Like, I think that is the most important thing. Obviously, we had ESEA earlier tonight, and then the ETF2L official that happened an hour and a half ago or something like that just got completely demolished by everything that is server issues. So that's the way it happened. Let's hope this time it's going to work perfectly fine. Now, Team Reverto versus Evokate Gaming. We're gonna Evokate? Was it Evokate? I think we decided on.
Rick said, just say Evil Cat really fast, like Evokate.
Like Evokate, yeah, Evokate. We can do that perfect. That's for all of you guys sitting at home as well. Just try it, Evokate, really fast. It's a French organization. We haven't seen them in Team Fortress 2 before, so obviously give them some love. If you have a Twitter account or something, find their Twitter. I don't know what it is, but find it and just tell them how happy you are with the fact that they're supporting TF2. That actually, like, you wouldn't believe how much that actually helps. There's a lot of organizations out there that just like the verification of the players, of the viewers and everything, that they're just happy with the fact that they're being supported, and that's the way it is. No organization like Punchline willing to pick these guys up, but Evokate Gaming, right here. I'm actually just going to call them Evokate because that's the way it is. First is Reverto here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Meow, meow, meow.
Week 2, I'm quite sure it's week number 2. Obviously, wildcard and everything of the sort. Gullywash and Battlelands are going to be the maps up for grabs, and I heard one ready up sound, which means that it's not going to be way too long anymore before this Team Fortress 2 game is going to be live here in just a few short seconds.
Yeah, remember as well, guys, that Evokate just came in because Impracticable Project, formerly known as Solar, folded a bit of a collapse from them. A few of their players didn't want to continue anymore, so they just packed in. Even though they picked up Rib, legendary demo man, the French were on the waiting list, having unsuccessfully campaigned for them to make it into playoffs, but they did actually get allowed by the admins, and that worked out fortuitously for them. But they haven't had as much of a pre-season warm-up, or maybe not been taking it as seriously. And talking to Flippy in the interview, he seemed a little bit down. He always sounds a bit down, but it just can't be sure how keen these guys are going to be compared to like Reverto, Deserto, these teams that have risen up to the Prem and that really want to prove themselves.
That's something we're going to have to wait and see, because really this is the time to shine. I think that is the easiest way of just explaining how Evokate is going to go in towards this game. They haven't won a map yet. Fair enough, they've only played 2, but it was against the Last Resort, like Reverto, a team that is probably going to end between spots, well, let's say 3 and 6, somewhere there. And Evokate is going to try and just infiltrate that position and see what they can do and end up as high as possible. If you want to do that, you need to win, or at least take maps off teams like the Last Resort, off teams like Reverto, Deserto, and obviously from the Willy Wonka factory as well. All of that combined, it really forces Evokate right here to just start taking those maps, start taking those points. And like you said, James, Badlands and Gullywash may just be the maps to do it on.
Yeah, I mean, it's been blown wide open by the fact that Deserto were able to take a map off Willy Wonka's. Really, apart from Epsilon finishing first, I can't be really too certain of anything, how it's going to end up come December time when the playoffs are upon us. But both these teams could contend if they can get a good string of results, and we've seen that anybody's beatable, apart from Epsilon, just have to add in that clause every time.
Well, they lost a couple of rounds versus the Serza. That's what I think it was an 8-3 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
6-1. But apart from that, really, nothing really is going to change. Epsilon is on top, but these two teams are going to be in the close sort of mid-table battle that's going to go on. And both of these teams are going to be very beneficial with the points that they pick up today. As we have Team Reverto in the blue going up against Advocate Gaming here in the red. Battlelands is the first map. ETF2L, the Premiership of Season 16, week number 2. With the first middle going live, James in place to do commentary.
He's putting down all the stickies onto the main entrance of the house, but not really managed to do much damage there. Didn't protect himself from Pla. Pla was able to just W might spawn it in and pick up that frag onto Hui. Bar goes down to Flippy as well, and the scouts of Evokate doing work here on this middle. Only Starkey survives on 25 HP, makes his way out there to the reset, but his team are all dead. He's just terrified right now. He's hiding here in the valley. He's poised to make a big play. He's going to sacrifice himself, perhaps. The clock is ticking down on his window of opportunity here. He spots the medic up at Spire, fires off a rocket, gives away his position. Now he will spawn back to last, but a massive Uber disadvantage here for Reverto. Not a good start for them thus far, even though they are the favourites in this. They do have a Merc, so that might affect their play, but right now they have to face a big push of red invulnerability. Here comes Flippy up, finds a Pyro, gets air blasted, puts in 4 shots, and the Pyro goes down, but the combo of Reverto have all switched over to that right hand side. They're bombing players onto the point. I'm not entirely sure how this one's gonna go. There's a scout coming in, bomb right, a soldier on the right, but the heavy weapons guy, GF18 Super Sub, has almost held on here. Hui is now left to try and clutch it, but he doesn't cover the point. Can't make it, and there's the Frenchmen getting their first point.
A little bit of two mindsets there pushing into last, but in the end, it's going to be perfectly fine. As obviously having that 8-second Uber charge right there to just be invulnerable, take the players down, it's going to prove to be perfectly fine there for Evokate Gaming, as they now have a 1-0 lead. Once again, they might be at a slight, Reverto might be slight favourites, and they're going to definitely try and turn this one around as they head on towards that middle right now. Yui's unbelievably far forward. You can see positional-wise, they have a massive advantage here. The French are going to have to try and pull this one back immediately. It's a 2-for-1 exchange. It looks like the French are going to commit. Bar surfing that one. He's going to stay 50 HP. With T-Mac going down, it does mean that Bar sitting all the way back, not able to heal up his players all that much. With the players, basically one by one getting picked off right there. Bar now, together with his scouts, GF18, being forced to drop out of that one. And Evokate Gaming picks up their second middle out of the 2 played so far.
That was a strange one. T-Mac, I was just sort of watching his perspective, rolled out from the valley, was really fast up onto the blue train, but he was almost too fast. There was nobody there to support him and he was getting focused by scouts, but he managed to survive long enough. Just seemed to take the attention, at least, of the Reverto players for so that Evokate were able to heal up and come back in, but now it's Uber versus Uber as the combo of Evokate pushed through from race up. The flashes are good from K3, but now it's what happens whenever the Ubers fade. Starkey has got a few seconds extra, and it looks like K3 has been stranded. He gets one saw off onto Bar, but he will die. Bar goes into reset, and that's a big advantage here for Reverto. They managed to keep their medic alive. They have the heal advantage. So as these buffs fade off for Evokate, there will be a significant advantage in terms of health. Here come Reverto from Choke. They're going to roll in, and they find that the French have entirely given up middle. There are no red players here whatsoever, Plage.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see why T-Mac isn't just sitting around going for that bomb. It looks like they're just going to group up first. They know that Bar doesn't have that charge just yet. Now Australia moves on with the rest of his team. They go reset side. Very safe way for the medic to go. He's going to keep that one up. 80% on his medi gun at the moment, but he's still a little bit vulnerable. Now there might be some players coming in trying to assassinate him. 1 hit, 2 hits, 2 HP to Bar. Third rocket hits, and he gets dropped to the floor. We have a 2-for-2 exchange. Medic down on one side. K3 is still alive, though. He's only 17 HP for actually getting dropped to the floor. Pipe hits on his face. And even though the kills go both ways, nothing is decided just yet. It is a 3 versus 2. Tech is full health, but Flippy, he's rocking that deadly sniper rifle. Gets the shot to Stark. And now there's a Delman jumping and a scout trying to follow up. But Reverto gets SMG, or Yui gets SMG out of the mid-air. You see Flippy just sitting there, making sure the area gets controlled, and with GF18 dropping to the floor, you can see that Evokate once again having quite a good exchange in these 6v6 fights.
Yeah, 3 players behind there for Reverto, trying to get that medic pick. Did get it fairly soon after Bard went down. But as it stands, not really much of an Uber differential here for the medics. Both holding fairly close on Choke, building those charges. Pla it's just took down GF18 at the last frag on the kill feed, but everybody's respawned right now, and Flippy remains on that sniper, having defended sniper as a spire, but he's baited out the bomb in here from Starkey. Stark finds himself on 50 HP, cratering there, damage claimed by Pla, and T-Mac also trying to get in the face of those Reverto players, but that actually means 2 down here, and this could be tough for Evokate to pull onto. Oh, a drop! Hui gets the drop onto K3, and it just descends into madness. Egg's on the only man alive. He's in the lobby. He's going to walk out here and try to do as much damage as he can. Buy a little bit of time for his team, but he's getting pressured by Hui from his left-hand side. Hui's going to chase him onto main, see if he can tag that demo and get someone to follow up, but he himself gets pressured out by the scout of Pla, first to respawn there, Plage.
Tech got an absolutely absurd rocket onto Rising, but in his flight he got 1 rocket onto K3. and a spam nade from Yui flew over, hit K3 in the face, dropped him out of the sky. Like you're seeing right now with the Uber advantage that Reverto has built one up. They're going to make their way in. One reflect kill happens though onto GF18, but is that going to be enough to hold on towards this one? 2-for-2 exchange. 4v4 is going to break out. Reverto now with the 4v3 lead. They're going to walk in top left hand side with a fully buffed pocket. I can tell you that one, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be it. Unless Exxon does some magical work. He takes one. One is obviously not going to be enough to kill off 4. 1-all's the scoreline. Will not move on their way towards the third middle.
Yeah, Exxon holding up top there in the tube, which can be effective if your opponents don't realise you're there, but if the push goes on for that long, you're pretty much screwed, and he did get taken out there, although managed to get one frag for his shrubbles onto this next middle. Exxon going to be slightly slower than Hui, but as Sticky seems to find him as he evades the damage of the Lithuanian Demoman. And I'm watching a soldier here, it's Rising, just walks up slope, he's straight onto the medic, lands on Rocket, but realised there's so many red players that he has to back up into house, but he's drawn a lot of attention here. Flippy's going to go in there and take Rising out, and that is both rumors down. T-Mac died a lot earlier, but it's a good position here from the red team. Evokate, they're going to walk forward. Tech finding 2 there, getting the medic bar, and then Ethog, who tried to go in and pressure him. Tech looking pretty solid on pocket as it stands.
Yep, definitely. Plopla was sort of the playmaker there, though, and he kind of likes playing that role. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. He's probably one of the most inconsistent scouts in Prem, but right there, he showed why it's an asset to have him on his team. Flanked from the side, did a lot of damage, took the players down needed to win that middle point. Now, counter sniper onto GF18. He's going to try and replicate what Flippy has been doing last time around on Spire. It looks like the position here from K3 and the rest of the Frenchies are a lot better than Reverto's position was last time around. They walk their way in, Uber does get forced, but still, they get a Spire for it, and that's a lot better than what Reverto did last round.
Start game with a super high corkscrew sort of bomb there, managed to do enough to spook K3, popped off his charge to save himself and his team. Now they're in position, but they find themselves at an advantage actually. There's Bar just respawning now. They've come in dry on the right side, picked up Rising and GF18. Tech and Exxon doing work here, now pressuring the point, trying to draw all those blue players down. They all have fallen to the floor. Exxon's about to come in top left. Well, actually, he goes back into the lobby and leaves T-Mac to die, but wow, what a great opportunity to do damage as a demo man there.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to decide to just back his way out, though. He was feeling a little bit insecure about that one, that's for sure. You can see Soldier Rising is going to try and assassinate him. Does manage to land that rocket. Greedy play from Exxon. That rocket from Rising. Point blank on his feet. Did get killed. There is a spy sitting underneath the stone bridge, though. He's going to make his way out, but let's see if he can plant that knife into the back of Bar right here. As he makes his way in. Nobody has spotted him just yet. Walks into the Soldier. Does get spotted and gets shut down. No problem whatsoever. Counter snipe from Flippy, though. He's going to try and make some plays here. I don't think he's going to get the space whatsoever, though. He forces that Uber out, so that might open up some options here for Africa Gaming. But apart from that, they're still quite a far behind.
Here comes Starkey. Oh, gets juggled straight up in the air there. And shotgun down by Tech, who doing great work at anti-air defense there. Rising as well goes in and sacrifices. They were scared of K3's Uber advantage. They didn't manage to kill him. He still has it, and they're going to be able to walk in under a lot less pressure here on middle. The only thing they really need to be worrying about is the stickies of Rohi. He's spamming out pipes right now. Where are those stickies?
Nobody's actually seen it. He blasted them now as well. He realizes they just went from the house side, they didn't go from choke side, so the stickies were completely useless. And Evokate Game is going to pick this one up, and surely they're going to realize Reverto doesn't have it yet. They're about 10-15 seconds off. There might be a little bit of a window here to make it happen. Exxon goes balls deep right now from the side. He's going to try and get some damage done. Takes one there with the help from Tech onto Rising. Yui goes down as well. No Uber yet onto Bar. He's getting chased one out. He's probably going to be forced to pick this one off, though. In the meantime, Plopla, no issues whatsoever. He's going to pick up that Spire. Really, this is a free area for Advocate to play with. They're probably going to try and force that Uber out to last, back out, and work with the Uber advantage that they have. As I say that, though, Robert T-Mac, he's picked up the knife this time around.
And for a second there, Ethog spawned its heavy, maybe not realising that his team had this massive advantage. Now he's back on scout. They're going to rock that cookie cutter formation as they try and push out here. They might be able to isolate Exxon here. He's going to get bombed too far forward, but lands 2 amazing pipes to take out Starkey. Bar drops and pop it off that Uber, but unable to save his pocket. T-Mac goes in and dies, and there is a crater there. Flippy onto Ethog. And with one scout down and a total field from the Uber, the Reverto are running back to last with their tails between their legs now. The ball is in K3's court. He's about to hit that 90. 9, 100%. They're ready to go with this Uber. They're going to lead with Soldier and Demo flashing on everybody. They realise the combo isn't there. They have a chance to play the point, but there's a lot of stickies there. The combo is going to come back from Reverto. They're up top, but they're being pressured. Tech gets the shotgun frag onto Bar. And Exxon is dancing around inside the tube, but he's just getting minced up as Hui gets a lot of damage onto the point with those stickies. Jukes into the spawn, but will he get back in time to save? No! Went for the reset, but didn't get back out to block the point, and it's going to be 2-1 French friends. Evokate Gaming.
James, I have no idea how deliberate that was, but I like that play from Reverto. They had a new disadvantage, and they decided, you know what, let's all walk towards the top lobby and just sort of let them sit there at the Uber charge and then go back in as soon as it ran out. It didn't end up working, but it was a good effort. As now the 2-1 scoreline comes out, 4th middle live. As we can see both soldiers rocketing themselves up to that top hand side. We see the Blues actually sitting in the valley for a long time. Reverto playing the slow game. Now they're going to try and come in right there. They crank it up a notch. They get the players down and they get a positional advantage. Unable to be committed right here by the boys in red. You see a 6 versus 4 scenario right here. It looks like Reverto are a little bit slow on moving on forwards. Gives the French a time to move on backwards a lot faster than they probably would have been able to be caught off by us. Right now they walk their way up to top. K3 in his pocket tech. They're sitting under that balcony side. Exxon is on the point. They're going to try and block this one out.
Again, we saw T-Mank playing a very sort of suicidal style of roamer on the middle, but oh, look at this bomb up from Stark. He jumps up onto the edge of that metal fence and forces out the Uber from K3. There's T-Mac and Flippy again down. Starkey finding that frag onto T-Mac and Hui onto Flippy, and with 2 players down, you have to feel the only move Evokate have here is to fall back and try and shore up the defenses on last, but already the blue team Reverto approaches up top. They're all in good health. They're ready to go. They're going to go straight in here just as the respawns come in. They're just poking actually. They're not going to overly commit to this. They are aware of those spawn timers as much as anybody. Just type MP underscore show respawn times in console and you can see them live.
Such a broken stat. I played without that for 6 years and just counted in my head. I mean, it's all doable, guys. Don't get spoiled by all the stats and all the things that you have nowadays. I think surely everyone by now should be using that. When Evokate Gaming, they're being stuck sitting onto last at the moment. They do have that heavy weapons guy sitting. Flippy in a little bit of a weird spot. I don't recall seeing a heavy on bottom left side usually. That's the way he's sitting at the moment. Moving on towards that top side, and very clearly Reverto play a methodical style here. They're going to wait, they're going to play it safe, don't want to make a single mistake, and then when they're sure, that's when they're going to go in. Ubers get exchanged. Nothing spectacular is going to happen, guys, I'll tell you that. The Power's going to chase out, maybe a little bit too far. Plopla's feeling adventurous. He's going to drop back out perfectly in time, and now comes the follow-up push. And James, that's where it usually happens.
Pyro is switched off now. Oh, Plopla remains on. Pyro, nobody watches the point. Oh wow, 2 scouts bottom right, straight in.
Switching their way in there, just completely unspotted.
Move,
it's great.
Smart move.
It's great. I kind of like the way that Reverto did that. Rushed in 2 scouts, bottom right hand side, when everyone's attention was picked up on the other side. I think the Frenchies are going to be scratching the back of their heads right there. 5th middle happening now. Scores are all tied up. So if there's 2-all scoreline happening here on the first map, CP Badlands of ETF2L Week 2 Premiership of Season 16. And you can see once again Reverto sticking to Valley for a long time, whilst the French have no problem picking up around that point. Let's see if the French can defend better. Yes, they can. Stickies take out Stark immediately. Bar going down as well. 2 for 2, 3 for 2 now in favour of the Reds. They're all stuck in that corner though, but you see Reverto, they went hard all in, and they're going for it. They keep trying to make stuff happen, but Yui's really the only guy who's even somewhat healthy, as Ethug, only 42 HP, goes for the assassinate, cannot take K3 down. Once again, the French, this time around, they adapt well. The exact same middle happened that happened last time. They adapted well, took down Stark early, took down Bar with the bottom of T-Mac. That's really all she wrote.
Yeah, Exxon, a much better read and execution there. Put his stickies on the shithouse, and really the whole push from Reverto to shithouse was sort of telegraphed. The French had plenty of time to react to it and deal with it accordingly, and that they did. We're going to see 2 soldiers sacrifice here for the force though, and it looks like Rising will follow Starkey into that spawn queue. The Uber has been popped off. They will cap though. And there's 12 seconds here for them to push before those soldiers respawn. Will they take advantage of this? Their health is decent, they can go if they want, but they just seem to be quite lackadaisical about the whole thing. 5 seconds now before they respawn, they're already walking in. Looks like they're going to send in 2 soldiers of their own. Oh! Egg jumps onto the point, but the heavy weapons guy jumps down and denies him. Eggton is going to go in and die to Ethug, and that was probably not a suicide plan, if you know what I mean. It wasn't their strategy to suicide 5 people, it just sort of unfolded that way, but do find themselves in a position unable to block Spire and also at an uber advantage. Nobody's been building with K3 all in. Move close to choke there. They've seen that the French are backing off. They probably don't want to rush into this one. They're going to wait for their scouts to cap Spire and then grip up. Now they're going to pop Uber though as they leave the house. Got to fear those sticky traps and all that spam. The bomb comes in behind from T-Mac, but everybody's already ran past. He's in the house and he's been spotted out. But can his teammates manage to re-push off this, do you think, Plage?
I think so. Like, they're in good shape. They're not going to block the point, but they have a full Uber advantage. And everyone from Reverto is so committed. Barsh is going to get caught right there, James. And you can see just the advantage here that the French had. They're managing to pull it off.
Oh, but they find themselves surrounded as the scouts come in from the front. The soldiers have jumped behind for Phoenix. Sorry, not for Phoenix, for Reverto, damn you GF18. And now it's just K3 and Flippy up, but Flippy's 18 HP, K3 has ran all the way back to spawn, but Flippy's trying to go huge here. Trying to just use his health disadvantage to take down Huey's on 69 himself. Flippy goes in and gets the kit. He will meet up with his medic again, and it looks like the French will no longer commit to this middle. They're going to regroup and come up with an actual plan rather than just run in there and kill things.
I'm surprisingly enough, after 17 days of no TF2, my TF2 decides to crash on me, James. Do you mind taking over while I have 5 seconds to make my way back in?
Oh, no problem, baby. Huey playing on middle here has got stickies in 2 positions. One just on the edge of the shithouse wall, the other on the back end of that red train. So he's hoping to see French people jump in and land on his stickies or maybe a scout just to run past them. He's also got a few sticks on choke as well. He's spreading them out thin here. He has began to walk forward with his team. Looks like Reverto want to be the ones to initiate in this push. Equal Uber here for both teams. Both medics still running that minigun, no crits Krieg in. Bar actually takes a little bit of roller damage there, is forced to go back for the kit, but it doesn't look like Exxon has read into that one, or at least encouraged his team to play off that. The position on the flank is very defensive as well from Flippy and Pla, not committing themselves at all into the house, staying well back near Resup.
Yeah, definitely. It's weird to see how Reverto is playing this as methodically slow, but they're just steady in some sort of way, and they're only going to pop it off when they really want to, and this really is going to be the time. Stark's going to try and make his way back. Not sure if he can manage that. Look at Exxon, he's just so aggressive. Now going to drop out. Soldiers take the lead. Soldiers jump back, and then Exxon takes the lead. That is really the way you want to alternate aggression, but Reverto didn't take a lot of damage in the process. The aim was a little bit off, and the spam wasn't as coordinated as it might be. Now with Yui going down, though, the scouts are going to town. Flippy and Blah picking up 1 each. We're going to try and look for some more blood. Nothing is needed, though. 6 versus 4. French recap this middle, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, that was pretty cool there from Evokate, just the way they jumped in and jumped out. I feel like if the rest of Reverto had been paying attention to what Stark had achieved, gone in with his Uber, forced it and beat it excellent into a push, they might have been able to kill him, but didn't happen that way, and it looks like Reverto are going to lose Spire on top of middle, might even lose last as they find K3 has worked up a little bit of an Uber advantage. Bar is just building up top furiously, but 2 players down. Evokate might continue the push. They're going to rotate up top, walk forward, 2 soldiers spamming. The Uber comes in. He didn't manage to get Bar. He's survived. Still on 95, trying to get up. Most likely will have Uber in time. Pops off immediately to save all his team. And that was more or less a free Uber. K3 only on 10% right now. Nothing really lost in terms of Uber advantage, but the French are all getting out here. They're going to try and hold on with 5 on Spire Plage.
For some reason, and I can be completely wrong on this, but I think that was the plan, because Exo wasn't actually there. He died very late, and he wasn't actually in that fight whatsoever, but they did Uber in, and they knew Reverto had it. So probably the only thing that they want was just get it out of the equation and then farm it up as fast as they can, and look at that. They have a 10 to 15% advantage sitting right there. You're going to see if they can capitalize that one. Exxon this time around, he is here. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to dot push. They're already sitting in lobby on 85%. But this is the thing. When you want to dot push and you're sitting there on 85, it takes a while. And look at how fast Reverto's catching up. They're going to have that Uber charge just barely in time. But they are going to have it in time. 6 versus 6 with a very deep demo and soldier at the moment. They do get 2 entry frags though, James. And this might be very good for them.
Yeah, Ethug sort of giving away a cheap one there. He was playing Pyro even though his team had Uber at the same time. He didn't need to die, but did go in and has lost his life, and things are just snowballing out of control here as an avalanche of blue frags come in, and there you go, a 3rd round for Evokate, the evil cats. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, I think the Evokate is going to be the sort of English name we're going to give towards this team, but really, they're playing pretty damn well, and this is something I said in the pre-game. These are two teams that, when they both play pretty damn well, they're going to be very equal towards each other. That's what we're seeing. 3 versus 2 in the lead for the Reds at the moment, and let's see if the Blues can come back. They lost last middle, and once again, they're sitting a long time. They're going to try the exact same strategy, coming in from that right-hand side shithouse, but once again, the first frag going into the favor of the Frenchies, and now they're going to try and kill some players off. Bar is very weak. He did have to drop down once again. Get the frag on the T-Mac and they have a positional advantage. Let's see how this fight is going to break out. This Poplar right now goes down, and even though the Reds are going to try and make it happen, the Blues are holding off quite well. Yui's really weak though. If he can get taken down, the French are in good shape, but they need to make it happen. They need to make it happen now. 68 health onto Yui, picks up that health back. 156 as both Ubers now get exchanged. They're onto middle, and it's Demo Soldier Medic versus Demo Soldier Medic. Yui is not anywhere close though, and he's going to come back into very late, but it might have been too late. Bar and Star both get taken down. Once again, this middle's going to get colored red.
Yeah, Bar popped off his Uber as Starkey was walking back towards Choke, and he had to come in there, lost a few seconds already. It didn't go well for them, and they did get taken out. Just about to respawn now, but already we see the French wave coming forward here. They're going to take out GF18's fellow countryman and begin to cap Spire. They've got like a 40% Uber advantage. Things looking good for them right now. Starkey and Bar are going to peek and just see what's happening on Spire, see if they can spot out exactly what the French position is, but they will back off and begin to build that charge. But we're probably going to see Ethog on Pyro here, maybe even GF18 on Sniper or something. But it's going to be full turtle mode here. Actually goes heavy weapons guy. They're going to try and turtle to the max. GF18 playing lower right, lower left, sorry, on his perspective, drops down and then runs back upstairs immediately. Needs to be careful he doesn't get caught out there, he doesn't have the hit. Here comes the Scout Saber straight onto point. Oh, one goes down, Flippy goes down, but Pla manages to get out and actually saves his medic from a Pyro in lobby just in the nick of time. That was quite fortuitous for him. Pistoled onto Pyro. Ethog and Rising down at the minute, and still 5 up for Evokate. As I say, that Exxon goes down, but T-Mag is on 3 HP running around somewhere. They come in and they force the Uber. K3 goes down as well.
Oh god, Flippy's hiding. Flippy gets spotted! Oh my god, he's juggling. He's sitting on top of the medic's head at the moment. I think that the idea of Flippy there is pretty damn correct. Look at how close that point is of being capped. He was just going to hide anywhere, and even if he got spotted, just leg it towards the point, see if he can cap that one off. Didn't happen. Didn't manage to work that one out. And now Reverto, they have a little bit of a change in mind. Some of them are capping, some of them are holding last. Not everyone is there. There's a window here for the French to make this one happen. Even if they lose this point, which they do, they have Flippy on Sniper and they kill off a lot of players. The annoying thing is though, Plopla's off kind of doing his own thing. He should have been there, should have been on top of that Spire. That's pretty much going to be the saving grace for Reverto there. That was not a well executed push. Right now, with no scouts alive for the French, it's going to take forever to cap that Spire, and it's actually never going to happen.
Plopla had a choice there to go for the back cap or try and block Spire, even get that medic pick. He had a real chance to get Bar. Went to last, got called out, spotted out, and then tried to go for the medic. I think his TF2 Brain is a little bit rusty. He didn't perform that well in the last official. Maybe needs to think a little bit better, but at the minute he's scoring well and his team are in the lead, so I won't give him too much criticism. Here comes the Uber, led in by Bar. GF18 gets dropped immediately. K3 counter pops, and they are just juggling the Uber Stark skyward, having him stunned there. Bar is coming in to try and heal his puck, but there's 4 red players here, but the height advantage is taken up immediately by Rising against T-Mac. Starkey also falls up onto Exxon, and the soldiers of Reverto doing work there. Man behind.
All the way in the back. He's already sitting on Spire at the moment. He's kind of looking what Reverto's doing. I don't know if Reverto knows. Has this communication not worked out for them whatsoever? No, there's one soldier right there. He's going to try and block that one off. Rising has no problem doing that. So I gave Reverto a little bit too little credit, because they did deserve the credit there. They did get called. They dealt with it perfectly. They capped off the middle point right now. Surely they're going to be hungry for blood here as they move around the choke site. They need to be careful though. They have a slight disadvantage, and I don't think they're aware of this.
Flippy sniping. He was perched up on that barrel there, and Choke did manage to get the shot on to Bar. Right now K3 does get that charge. Still a little while to go, but both teams not really committing to anything, trying to work picks in the house. Double soldier from the French trying to isolate Rising there, but he does manage to survive. In comes the Uber on Choke from Stargate at the same time, but it's actually single Ubers a piece, and this is going to work well for Tech if he wants to push here. He has a few more seconds, and it's T-Mac who's going to get the flash and jump in, and he's been forced into the valley, manages to run out with the escape plan, and it looks with Hui down that really Reverto are going to struggle to hold on to this one. It might even be an absolute wipe. In comes GF18 to try and get that medic pick, get anything he can. He can't. Exxon is the best they could do there. K3 survives, and this is a strong position yet again for Evokate Gaming.
I think Reverto needs to realize what the issue is right here. Their frontal fighting is unbelievably well coordinated, but every single time Plapla sneaks in the back and assassinates or does a lot of damage onto everyone. Yui was the target this time around, got two-shotted by Plapla from the side, and from there on onwards, it was chaos among the blue ranks, and that leads to this area which we can see right now. Here on top of this spire, they're having difficulty blocking this one off, difficulty controlling the area. They might be a lot wiser to just let it go, but they seem to keep on fighting for it. One or two lucky picks can completely turn this one around, and with the Frenchies stacking that point, they were doing it for a reason because Flip was already sitting on last, and as soon as the point got captured, Reverto didn't realize the danger. Flippy capped it off, and with a 4-2 scoreline, the Frenchies are in a prime position to pick up this first map.
Yeah, Reverto were probably in the same boat as us. They're wondering why they're committing so many players to the Spire in a situation they couldn't win, but they had an ace up their sleeve. It was Flippy on last, and look at Exxon coming out of house, taking sticks from Hui, who's positioned on balcony. And again, on this middle, we see Exxon going to take up a sort of passive position and wait for players to come through. Choke T-Mac's already gone in. GF18 follows him. Rumour for Scout is a pretty good trade, but wow! Two more come in. Exxon dies, Flippy as well. But there's the frag onto Bar from Plapla playing that long con now. It's up to K3 to try and survive here with tech, but they're being flanked. Here comes a soldier from the Hunter. Oh, second rocket clips the wall, doesn't hit K3 at all. 50 HP for him as Hui walks in from behind. His third sticky is enough to kill him, and tech might be able to equalise here, trade for some frags, gets a soldier, but won't be able to chase down any more, I think.
Yeah, guys, and this is where tension comes in. You're playing ETF2L officially, you're 4-2 down, but you see 3 minutes left on the clock. You know, guys, we can still do this. We need a good middle there. They pick it up. Not convincingly, but they pick it up. And they kill the medic late. There are options here for Reverto. Even though they lose their pocket soldier right there and then, it is still okay. Build off that uber charge, walk towards resup. You can cap it and still have 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go. But they need to happen. No room for errors anymore. And they sort of need to hope for a little bit of French help on the side as well. See if they can put it off though. Flippy's picked up that rifle that he's so famous for. Let's see if he can be just a complete menace here, Reverto. So they're going to make their way in towards that Spire right now.
You know you're confident on Sniper whenever you stand on Spire. And he is just peeking here to the resup side. The call comes in, he drops down onto Trash, and he's going to try and find a head. Gets Starkey, takes 150 HP off his account, and looks like Bar's going to Uber him, and they're flanking behind here. They're going all the way up into the top lobby. Oh, Stark going huge here. Savage in there, pipes coming in from Hui to get K3, but Stark in from behind, and they just went for that one, man. You requested it, Pledge, and they are going to try and deliver, but there is a scout behind Plapla doing his best to buy his team time, but nobody's going to be alive here.
A minute 25. My TF2 sends, even after 17 days of absence, it's still there. It's 90 seconds, basically on the dot, and that is the time that Reverto has to turn this one around and see if they can revert the score back to equal, if we can call it that. We'll have to wait and see. Now, 30% onto both medics as they make their way in towards the final middle, the one that's going to decide everything. Badlands, is he going to go the French way or the blue way?
Both demos playing from balcony, and Hui's doing a number onto T-Mac, really focusing him as he jumped through the air from Valley. Put a lot of damage onto that Rumor, sort of took him out of the game. Rising is also having trouble, but he's managed to survive and stay in the French house. Goes for the kit. Plapla gets Hui, but will this be enough? Can they push in on this? They've actually lost middle right now. They just need to make sure they don't lose too many players and they can hold on to last. All they need to do is buy 30 seconds time here. They don't need to hold this aggressively. If they choose to, they pop off Uber just in time to save tech. He finds himself quite weak. Flippy comes in from behind, gets A-Thug, and he's really drawing the attention. The Uber is much later though from Bar, and they have a real opportunity to clean house here. There's GF18 going to take down tech, and oh, there's lots of red players coming in from behind. Looks like the Blues could find themselves in it.
Excellent on Spire, that's it. Oh, we got to get the air shot as well to Yui. He gets sent flying through the air. I love it. Even though Yui gets the kill on the team, it's not going to be enough, and barely the French can pull it off. And Evokate Gaming is going to be able to pick up that first map here. A well-deserved win. A very close game, but it's going to be their first win actually in this season after they came in as sort of the lucky loser. Solar, or should I say, what is it? Whatever, the project thing, right? They dropped out. The French came in, picked their spot, lost both maps to TLR. And that's when they have to come. They have to show against Reverto right now. That's when they need to make it happen. And look at that, they're managing to pull it off, winning the first map. No golden cap or anything like that. Badlands is going the French way. It colours the stripes of blue, white, and red. And you can see that right now we're going to make our way to Gollywash, ladies and gentlemen. It was the second map here in ETF2L Season 16 Premiership, week number 2. And obviously we're going to be right back after this short commercial break. And, well...